All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Assassination Classroom, Season 1, Episode 8.
We might just get some snipers this episode. I mean, we
Our
might
kids
not.
have to set up their shots and everything, and their routes specifically. You know,
That's
so
right.
that the
It's
snipers
very
can be
important
put
for
into
their
position.
self-embetterment and everything.
Yes,
Yep.
as assassins,
That's
but also
right.
as students
That's right.
of Assassination. Indeed.
It's very important.
Karasuma has set them up with quite a few assets in this case here.
And he's not just talking about Bitch Sensei.
Nope.
But we had a great episode last week with lots of wonderful lessons and a very in-depth school itinerary planner guide to the area.
Yes.
That also
which led to some sweet Mozgasing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Thick. It's
and
like they all
heavy.
grew a spine, you know, and bound them up. Yeah. Laid down the law. Showed them the way. Taught them a lesson. Yeah. So y'all,
Please
without
say
further ado, let's get into this.
地球が一つありましてお豆を東京に置いたとさお豆を中国戦争に置いたとさハワイからハワイまで飛行機雲をかきながら飛びまして飛ばしながら戻りまして
Wow.
ハワイドバイカンを経度20度5
All right.
に飛びましてあっという間に殺せんせさあ実際に行って帰ってきましょう
It's a geography lesson,
My
clearly.
God.
Yeah. Seishun Sasubatsuron! Young people's discourse on bloodthirst. Yeah.
おー窓がないからすごい迫力ですね
Okay, cool. We got a
こ
train.
れだけ開放的なら酔いませんししかし時速25キロとは速いですね
It's
For
actually
you?
quite
Really?
slow. Yeah. He's not trying to hide either, you know. There's a bunch of regular people around, you know. Ah, so it's a perfect sniper position. Nice and open.
どれどれ
周到の砂嵐の中2キロ先の標的を仕留め
Whoa!
That is really
こ
cool.
の条件の狙撃なら
But wouldn't you want a silencer?
ヘッドショットしたはずだが
Yeah.
おっと八つ橋に小骨が
A tiny bone!
あ
Yeah.
るんですね
なるほどな
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
とんでもない化け物を殺す依頼のようだ
Are we just gonna get a whole episode dedicated to sniping?
どっちどっち
He's behind you.
何してん
Wait, what? What?
子供に咲くアダバナは血桜の
What is that line? He actually, like, knows.
Wow.
常識外れ
Yeah. Right. This is bullshit.
あいつを殺す
Alright,
Okay.
that one was a bust. It just didn't even have a chance.
Nope.
三年坂の出口買った土産を確認しようと生徒が気を引いた瞬間玉取る神じゃねえよ
言わんこっちゃないこんなに粘液が取れてしまった弾丸も止めるくらい
Wow.
乃木坂君のファンから電話です
What is this ringtone?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
なんだなんだあいつ
Gotcha. So with the time, that was to show that was when they were ended up dealing with problems over there. So then he leaves.
Ah, gotcha.
Right.
暗殺家業を始めて8年
He has a whole, like, midlife crisis.
血が移らなかったことはない
どうぞ三年坂で買った七味です
ああんたかありがとうよ生徒のトラブルも無事解決したのでねご挨拶して
You need a massage.
I'm gonna give you some tips about how to fire your sniper up a little bit better, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, he's taking you out to food?
遊ばれてたわけかいこんな会話
Tofu?
とはな 国が厳重に口止めするわけだ。
I'm still waiting for them to like sneak the BBs into food that he eats.
こんな商売やってるんだ。
Kill me.
覚悟はしてる。
Okay.
早く食え。
Yeah.
殺すなんてとんでも
But
ない
Nagisa isn't there to keep track of
旅
this.
行になりました。私を殺すポイントを探すため、生徒たちは普段よりたくさん京都について調べたでしょう。
I'm so proud.
地理、地形、
And you were a part of that. So thank you.
空気を知る暗殺を通して得たものは生徒を豊かに彩るでしょう。はい、どうぞ。
Oh.
だから私は暗殺されるのが楽しみなのです。
立派に先生してやがる。
Yes, he is.
That's
Yes,
right.
he is. Oh.
俺は暗殺者として未熟だったよ。
I've got a whole life to live, man.
That's right.
いろんな色を見ても
Always the student.
I want to see more than red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are so many other colors.
Yeah.
明日のスコープにはどんな色があるのか
Nice.
な。
There you go.
Oh, that's wonderful.
There you go.
どうやって避けたら
I literally played the equivalent of this game all the time as a kid. Oh my god.
すごい意外です。
Yeah, and Kanzaki's the arcade legend.
待ってたの。遊びができても
Frivolity.
白い目で見られるだけだし。コロ先生に言われて気づいたの。大切なのは中身の自分が前を向いて頑張ることだって。
I'm glad they're giving her an extra little bit of focus.
烏丸先生、卓球
ああ
しようよ。
No, I've got adult responsibilities to deal with here.
負担はかけられ、ここから先は自由時間だな。
いい
Hey.
だろ
Okay.
強い
Cool.
俺は。
Oh.
Daddy Karasuma coming in to show the kids who's who. Oh, we don't get to see it. Dang it.
ねえ、二人で何してんの？決まってんでしょ。覗きよ。
Oh.
それ俺らの
That's our job.
あの服がかけてあって、服の主は風呂場にいる。
Oh.
ないことわかる。
This is our chance, yeah.
Yeah.
今なら見れるわ。コロ先生の中身。
Oh, I was gonna say.
明日は職種だけか胴体あんのか。暗殺的にも知っておいて損はないわ。
この世に
This is for science.
The least sexy act.
おや皆さん、
なんで泡風呂入ってんだよ。
To
Good
stop
for my
peeping.
skin.
じゃなかったっけ？
これ先生の粘液です。
Oh my
Oh.
god, that's disgusting.
出口は私たちが塞ぐ。浴槽から出るとき、
Mach 20.
前を通るよね。
Yeah.
殺すことはできなくても裸から見せてもらうわ。
そうはいきませんせ。
ニココリか。
おっと湯冷めしてしまいます。
逃げた。
Defeated so easily.
Mm-hmm.
修学旅行でみんなのこといろいろ知れたけど。
Like you guys are a bunch of peeping perverts.
や
Ah.
っぱ1位は神崎か。渚、お前は誰に入れたんだよ。
僕は
そういう前原こそ誰に入れたんだよ。
Nice little deflection there.
Yeah.
そいつは言えねえな。面白そうなことしてんじゃん。
Oh, we got another vote that we didn't get here.
お
Mm-hmm.
前、気になる子いる？俺は奥田さんかな。言うのかよ。
Oh.
意外。
Yeah.
だって彼女、
Ah!
不思議な薬とかクロロホルムとか作れるんだし、俺のいたずらの幅が広がる。絶対くっつかせたくない二人だな。
Yeah, yeah, that's terrifying.
女子や
You
先生
really
に
love
知られ
the
ないように
flags,
したい
don't you?
Oh!
です。なるほどなるほど。
Student data. Oh man.
Oh! Stop him!
先生の超スピードはこういう情報を知らない。
Of course.
Loves gossip.
好きな男子？
Oh my god, and then they're doing
Wow.
it too. Yep.
He's gonna play matchmaker.
Oh
He's
my
gonna see if
gosh.
there's any overlap.
Karasuma! Oh! They're like, yeah, of course we do.
だと例えばってことよ。顔だけならカルノ君もかっこいいよね。そこさえ良ければね。そうだね。
Yeah.
でも
They're not in a bad
Oh,
mood.
and Okuda's the
Hey,
one who
yeah.
was like, hey.
神崎さんは？私は特には。本当だ。うりうりうりうり。男子だってみんな気にしてるぞ。
How will that help her tell you who she likes?
もうすぐ就寝時間だってことを一応言いに来たわよ。
She says that while walking in with beer.
Yeah.
おしゃべりするんでしょ。そうだ、ビッティ先生の大人の話。
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Grown-up stories?
Yes.
ためになりそう。ビッティ先生まだ20歳？
What?
豊富だからもっと
Really?
思ってた。ねえ、毒画みたいなキャラ。
Black Widow thing. Wow.
恋人生が作る毒画のような色気。誰だ今毒画っつったの。
How much you want to bet she's actually lying about her age?
Sure.
ビッティ先生が落としてきた男の話聞いて。
Yes, yes.
興味ある。
She starts describing Karasuma.
刺激が強いから覚悟なさい。
Delicate young palates. Ah!
おいそこ。逃げなく紛れ込むな女の。
Wow.
いいじゃないですか。私もその色恋の話聞き
As the next octopus.
コロ先生はどうなのよ。自分のプライベートはちっとも見せないくせに。
Oh.
だ
Oh.
よ。人の
That could actually get
Equivalent
serious.
exchange,
そんなこと
yeah.
がないわけ？そうよ。巨乳好きだし片思いぐらい絶対あるでしょ。
Yep. Yes, so then the whole
Wow.
the whole group
Yep.
is coming after him. Pincer attack.
いやー、危ないところでした。
どうしたさっきから騒がし
He
い
even enters the room respectfully, you know.
Yeah.
そうになりまして、私だって過去の恋バナなどゴロゴロありますしね。この
Oh.
手足で数えきれないくらいのね。
その話はお前の手足が2本
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Yep.
いややめておくどう
Nice.
せ話す気はないだろうしな
Yeah.
賢明です、烏丸先生。
Whoa.
いくら旅先でも手足の本数まで聞くのは野暮ですから。
But that is important information maybe for the kids to know that he once was human.
I mean, we theorized it, so now getting to see that it's confirmed is awesome.
明日からまた学校での生活が始まる僕らの暗殺教室が
Roll credits.
All
That was
right.
a fun little jam-packed episode.
That was.
Lots of little things
I
going on.
gotta say
there.
though,
Yeah.
I was really hoping it would go a bit farther, and maybe that's just I know it's not that kind of show necessarily, but if it
Right.
did go into the whole thing of like, okay, you like so and so and so and so. Okay, cool. You like so. Wait, hold on. Like, because you just know that Korosensei would totally try and help set students up, like if he knew that they liked each other.
Yeah. The one that we kind of got confirmation, though, of Karma and Okuda, though, is
Yes.
kind of cute. Because Okuda is specifically kind of introduced as the shy girl, you know?
Right.
And Karma's all like charisma and, you know, bravado. Or not bravado, but more like
Bad boy.
yeah,
awesome.
bad boy. Yeah. So that would be cute.
Oh.
やつの暗殺に進展なしか
Hmm.
大丈夫なのかね烏丸君
何いざとなれば核ミサイルで学校
That won't do anything.
Yeah.
リスクが大きすぎる太平洋上で迎撃ミサイルを
Right.
Oh, yeah.
実破片をつなげて返しに来よったなんとご心配なく本の防衛省とも先ほど合意に達しました二人の特殊な暗殺者を
More transfer students.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
High schoolers. Hell yeah.
Whoa. They're actual
Okay.
superhumans. Okay. Dang.
室に帰れば驚くだろうミスター・カラスマ
Oh, he doesn't look happy
Yeah.
about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Korosensei was once human.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it makes sense.
makes sense.
It makes sense.
You know, I
Yeah.
feel like that was
It's a human being
implied
that was
before.
experimented on. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He was not
But-
an alien. Yeah.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah, of course. If he came from Earth, then
Yeah.
duh.
It's just the
But-
question of whether or not he was a fully formed, you know, project of science with no humanity
Right,
originally.
exactly. Yep.
Or if he was something that was someone that had a human body that
Right.
was transmogrified into something different.
And the fact that Karasuma knows that is important, because I could definitely see that being something where that's a closely kept secret.
Right.
Because they don't want it to be known that the being that is saying they're going to destroy the world was actually created, like, by us, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little awkward and it's unnecessary information for the purposes of an assassination. But if you look at it from the angle of, well, we're going to get desperate here, we actually will need that information eventually for the purpose of an assassination, because it's almost looking at this point, the only way they're actually going to get away with killing Korosensei is by him actually letting himself get assassinated.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
There's almost no way at this point. Or is the other thing, all the info that they've been acquiring all this time is going to start to compound on itself and create really specific situations where it's like, wait a minute.
Right.
Even if we can't kill him from this, maybe we can start to do damage that's near lethal and make him be, frazzled or something.
Right. The idea that they could attack him in ways that are non-physical.
Yes.
Right. Like the whole thing that I keep saying of putting the BBs in his food, that's like one degree in that direction.
That's just the base level.
But that's
right
just
there,
base level. Like if you take it really far, like getting it to the point where like, if they go all Johan and basically just offer him a bottle of whiskey, something like that, where they get, and that's where it could get really insidious.
Into the
and of
psychological damage,
right.
and then they have him defeat himself. Really,
right? Now the perfect sort of answer to that, though, is that the students would never do that, right? The students care about him. They don't actually really want to kill him, even now.
Yeah, they
right?
kind of just want, in some ways, the yen and the massive reward, and then also, it's fun learning how to be an assassin.
Right, it's all a game for them at this point. They're not like when they brought up the whole idea of the world ending, the bigger thing that they were thinking of is that this class is going to end, not the idea no crazy psychological implications of, oh my god, the fate of humanity rests on our shoulders, right?
Yeah, and that's probably one of the tougher things with the show in order to communicate here, is that because they're kids, and because the whole threat of, destroy the world, they're not thinking about this in any kind of doom and gloom way of, wait, there's actually no way that we can do this.
Yeah, holy shit, he destroyed the moon. He's toying with us all these times. Like, what?
Yeah, so it would be cool to eventually have a moment where some of the kids start to despair a little bit.
Sure.
But for now, they're having a good time. And this school trip emphasizes in some ways how much more they could bond as a class.
Yep.
Because this is just the beginning. Now, we got to see a lot of comedy antics with it. We saw the sniper little mini story here.
I appreciated that. And it also made me weep inside just knowing that, it's just seeing a sniper do all the things that should work.
It did it right. Yeah.
Minus the silencer or whatever. But,
Right.
I mean, the bullet would travel faster than the sound anyways. But, and just it doesn't work because Mach 20 and, tentacles.
This is one of the other things that's actually quite crazy, is if Korosensei has actually pretty weak hearing, so it's not that he's actually hearing the bullet shot, but he's feeling the bullet touch his skin.
Yeah, and he's that fast that he could just be like,
we don't know. We don't know if it's just something that he
idea.
turns on or off, where it's a reflex thing where he can just move that fast at any second, at any time. So we'll see. But we got a little bit of stuff with Kanzaki, starting to see a little bit more of how the characters who have been taught a little bit by Korosensei in recent episodes are starting to have that affect who they are as people. And we are seeing changes. It is kind of, a deal to try and keep track of all the characters involved in this show, but only a small group thus far have been given in-depth focus.
Right.
So that's good.
That was one of the reasons why I really appreciated the extra focus on Kanzaki.
Yeah.
Because in the previous episode, she more got half the episode, as an introduction. And considering that we hadn't even seen her around before, that was really helpful to have this extra little bit of sort of contemplation about what happened previously.
Right.
To keep her cemented in our minds and see that extra little bit of characterization.
Yeah.
The whole idea of who do you like and all of that stuff, I love it. Yes, I love it so much. This is the kind of stuff that I live for in the school slice of life, anime setting.
Absolutely.
But then, of course, there's the fact that that can go into complicated territory that can kind of change the genre of the show, so we're not going to go into that too in depth. But Korosensei's involvement with that, absolutely splendid. I loved it.
Yes. The fact that he had so much fun with them doing things that would be, kind of to instigate some level of their kind of animosity towards him, but keeping it in a playful way. It was fun because we didn't see him actually use this data in any way.
Right, exactly. He didn't just go over and be like, oh, by the way, Okuda, you're rather fond of Karma-kun, huh?
Right.
Well, you know what he said,
Yeah.
None of that. Yeah.
Right. One of the things that we've seen Korosensei do this episode that he hasn't done as much in previous episodes was we saw him entering into environments quietly.
Yes.
This is something that I think is maybe something he's learning to do just in the background, is that he can move at Mach 20, but you can't move at Mach 20 and be quiet.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that just doesn't work. So the fact that he's moving not at Mach 20, but maybe around that speed, but he's doing things to diffuse his own entrance and stuff.
Yep. Wonderful.
He's getting good.
He's getting real
good. So that's fun. That's exciting. We got some more weaknesses for Korosensei. Although I did find it funny that this was one of the few times where, and it might have been the only time actually, where we had a weakness that was observed. Nagisa was not present to take note of it though. Right. So does that actually count?
I don't know.
If Korosensei is in the forest and a weakness is shown, but Nagisa isn't around to hear it.
Did it actually
happen?
Yeah. Well, but that whole scene with Karasuma, I feel like was super intentional because it's Karasuma really actually hitting home when no one else could, right?
That was the sniper that had the scene there where.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. The blowing on the food and everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, with Karasuma, it was the whole thing of, yes, we're going to actually speak a little bit about, the whole trip and everything.
Yep.
And then,
Because for someone as powerful as Korosensei, he's constantly with a big smile on his face. There are times when he's angry because, say, his students are being threatened or something, but but there's that sort of jovial confidence of, I don't need to worry about anything. Sure. Nothing can touch me, right? And then with a few words, that changes.
Karasuma knows your past, and that's something that I gotta say, I feel there's something more to Karasuma than what we're being initially told there. Because
so too.
When we see him in the end credits episode, the end credits scene, and they mentioned how they're gonna bring in superhuman transfer students as like biologically enhanced assassins or something like that.
Yeah.
He had a look of like...
Right. And maybe that was just something of like, upper management is infringing on my turf and like complicating my ability to do my job, Totally. But it could also be something more if it's like, you guys are still doing that shit? Like, haven't you learned your lesson by now?
know? That definitely was something that like, I felt like was getting teased at. But if that's the case, then that gives me the vibe that Karasuma might be one of the few that knows Korosensei's actual past.
Sure.
That's why he's here.
Well, that's why he's here, and that's why it hasn't been told to any of the students or anything, because they don't want just anybody knowing that. And that's also, again, to show, like in the same way that, the government, for instance, hasn't learned from their mistakes and that they made two more...
The government? The world.
Well, yeah, the world hasn't learned from their mistakes because they made two more superhuman students, right?
Right.
And it's like, why would you do that after Korosensei obviously demonstrated that's a bad idea?
Right.
But they also aren't able to or willing to fess up to the fact that they made that mistake, which by doing that is also making it more difficult to deal with the mistake.
Sure.
Because
the mistake wasn't Korosensei. It was the act of doing something to someone that made them into Korosensei.
Because, there's the whole idea of assassinating Korosensei, but what if you just made it so that Korosensei didn't want to destroy the world? Yep. And that's probably why he wants to destroy the world, because of a bunch of stuff that happened as a result of that. So maybe if that was something that was addressed and talked about with him, maybe with the students, then he'd be like, you know what?
Yeah. Again, I still feel like he's lying. There's so much in contradiction with that kind of threat the way he teaches people.
Yeah.
That if anything, this feels like the kind of thing of where the more and more we just kind of get time to think about it, and now we're getting to learn that he was a human, or he is a human that was, biologically messed with. In that this is kind of his test for humanity, is if he can take the worst of the worst kids and make them into, wonderful, wonderful people and stuff, then there's reason to keep this, ridiculous planet around, this ridiculous race of people,
Sure. With the whole thing of Korosensei threatening to destroy the world, it's so antithetical, seemingly, to how he is now the person that we see, that it makes me think that either it's something where he did feel that at one point, and now he sort of doesn't, right? Like, and that's the whole point of this class and why it's important to him as well.
Yeah, but it's a progression thing, and we're not seeing the internals with him.
Exactly.
So,
Which it could totally be. But then the other thing that it makes me think of is like that one emotional music anime where it's the a seemingly very obvious lie or non-truth is being propagated throughout the series, and then you find out what the actual situation is later.
Sure.
That's sort of like it was obviously never that. And if that's the case here, what is that for Korosensei? What's the actual thing beneath the surface?
What's the difference?
Yeah, what's the difference, right? What's the lie?
Someone really wanted him to teach some kids.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a simple promise.
Right, that might be all it is,
But y'all, they've set up some really cool stuff here, and this definitely feels like kind of a mid-season kind of finale build-up mini arc,
Yeah, like this is episode 8, so it's kind of act 1 of season 1.
But it might be like the finale of act 1, and then act 2 starts with superhuman kids now joining.
Right,
and the kids that we know and love having to maybe feel a little bit kind of like it was what's her name's line, the blonde girl being like, yeah, you should stay in your lane, bitch sensei. She's like, what? Like, but that could be the thing that ends up again unifying the class a little bit more.
Sure.
And also maybe in some ways even unifying Karasuma and bitch sensei to the class.
Yeah, that's true.
Bit by little bit, because this was an episode where we got to see Karasuma play, ping pong with the boys.
Yep.
We got to see Bitch Sensei talk about her stories and stuff,
conquests,
and give actually some pretty decent advice with regards to the ladies. So
I will say though, that whole thing of you must fiercely polish your femininity. I was like, is that what you call it? Yeah, I see.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. The girls are like basically going to talk to you, the equivalent of what they did to Korosensei. Like, hey, you're into boobs too, right? Like, don't try to like pretend.
I gotta say though, maybe this is just my shipping mind, but as soon as I saw Karasuma in like the robe and everything, I was like, ooh. No, well, yes, I was like, ooh, but I was also like, all right, when is Bitch Sensei going to come in here? Like. There needs to be some like stumbling, like running into each other in the hallway. Oh my! Blushing, whatever.
That's gonna be 30 episodes from now. Like,
it's gonna be great though.
Yeah, but that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be way down the line.
But it has to happen.
And they're gonna have something where she's like, "Wow, you've been so reliable," and he's like, "Yeah, and you've actually like changed.
You've really grown.
You've grown, yeah." Mm-hmm. And then they have this moment there, and then one of the students is just gonna be like, "Oh my god!" It's gonna be like Okada, but with the equivalent of it being like that one scene. That one, principal, yeah. Nichijou, yeah. Probably one of my favorite voice acted parts in anime. If you haven't seen Nichijou, go watch it.
It's great.
It's another wonderful school anime. But y'all, this was a great episode.
Yep.
Good stuff that they're teasing for future episodes. And Korosensei just being the MVP this episode. Yep. Wonderful stuff. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general. You can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yep. Battle Lines. It's awesome. It does have snipers in there. And if you're interested, the link to Amazon where you can purchase it is in the description below.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.